Turn up the heat for late summer soccer at Southfield in Provo, Utah. The BYU Cougars return home feeling victorious after knocking off Marquette. They welcome another team with NCAA tournament aspirations, Long Beach State in the house. Both teams trying to bolster their tournament resumes before conference play begins. Next on BYU TV. Monday night NCAA tournament soccer live on BYU TV. A couple of teams very evenly matched. The Long Beach State 49ers, 4-4 overall. BYU, 4 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. Wherever and however you're connected, great to have you with us on BYU TV as part of your Monday night. Alongside former BYU standout Natalie Lewis, I am Spencer Linton. I've referenced evenly matched. And when you look at the makeup of each of these teams' schedules, it's crazy how close they are. They have both played a number of top-level teams, haven't beaten any of them, but have come close and have taken care of business against the teams they should. So, Natalie, what do you expect tonight as these teams look for a big-time win to help their respective NCAA tournament resumes?
Well, I expect a great matchup. As you can see, their stat comparison is spot on paper. BYU leads in shots, but Long Beach has more of them on goal. Their goals for game, BYU a few more than Long Beach, but Long Beach's effectiveness of their scoring is better. On paper, these two teams stack up very, very well. And when you look, again, both of them have had their losses, but always to top-rated teams and always by only 1 goal. So this is going to be a great game. All
right. And we also look forward to now what the third member of our broadcast team, Lauren McLean, brings to the table. Some breaking news of sort for who BYU will opt for in goal moving forward. Lauren?
Spencer, BYU head coach Jen Rockwood told me that the reason BYU coaches were going back and forth on who they want as their starting keeper is because they were waiting for somebody to separate herself, someone who could make the big save and someone who could bring a calmness to the team in high-pressure situations. Sabrina Davis is that girl for BYU right now. Jen Rockwood told me that she brings a confidence in the back line with her communication. And also, she and Cassie Smith, this is their first time in the setting of being the starting goalkeeper, so it was an adjustment for both of them. But BYU coaches are very comfortable with Sabrina right now. They told me she has the edge, and she will be the starting keeper moving forward. Spencer.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Sabrina Davis gets the nod from here on out, at least as far as we're told. And there is a look at the head coach of BYU, Jennifer Rockwood. Incredible resume that she has put together. As we take you to our keys to the match, presented by Tim Daly Nissan. Tim Daly Auto Group, serving Utah since 1968. All right, for the 49ers, Natalie, what do they need to do to get that marquee win? This is a team that's receiving votes in the latest poll.
They need to counterattack. BYU has been very effective in their last 3 matchups of getting down the outside, sending the ball over, but it does leave them exposed to a counterattack if they do so very quickly. They need to do that. They need to win the 50-50 ball and then counterattack quickly on BYU's very aggressive offense.
They've been so good defensively, so it's not a coincidence that you point out they need to capitalize on that defense. Now for BYU, what do they have to get done tonight?
BYU has got to connect in that offensive third. They've done so well in the last few games, again, of getting the backs involved, sending the ball across the midfield, but coming out of the midfield and connecting to the forwards is where they can be so dynamic and powerful if they connect those passes. And then on top of that, again, those overlapping defensive runs, especially as you get Rachel Bingham-Lyman involved. She has been a difference maker in the last several games. BYU needs to continue to do what's working.
Just under 90 degrees. It is very warm for tonight's matchup. And that takes us now to our starting lineups presented by Intermountain Healthcare, keeping the Cougs healthy as the official sports medicine provider for BYU Athletics. For the 49ers of Long Beach State, it is Rola Badawia, Taylor Bistline, and Gonzalez up front as the forwards that will look to solve this BYU defense. Ramirez, Rodriguez, Fujikuni, and Froment will handle some duties in the midfield. Froment also floating back there as a defender. Meyer, Alvarez, Pilster, and Imani McDonald gets the start as the goalkeeper for 4-4 Long Beach State. For the BYU Cougars, and their starting 11 tonight, it will be up front, Maddie Sidaway Gates, Elise Flake, And then in the midfield, Bella Folino, Michaela Coulihan, Olivia Wade, and Lizzie Braby. No major changes right there in the middle of the lineup for BYU. On the defensive side, Alyssa Jefferson, Saracio joining Rachel Lyman, who you mentioned, Nadeline, Josie Gwynn, and Sabrina Davis, the aforementioned starting keeper for Jennifer Rockwood and BYU. There is a look at Maddie Sidaway Gates. 4 goals and assist. She has ripped off a bevy of shots, including 14 on target. She has, in a way, emerged not just as the senior leader that Jennifer Rockwood hoped she would be, but as a legitimate scoring threat. And BYU needs that. They're looking for that right now.
Well, to have 4 games and 4 game-winning goals is huge, and she needed that in order to take on that mantle as not only that senior leader, but that goal scorer, as you mentioned, exactly what BYU needed as they get ready for conference play.
Here are the head coaches. Mauricio Ingracia, 159 wins to 100 losses and 36 ties in his 15th season. He's got 4 Big West regular season titles on his resume, including 3 tournament championships in the Big West and 6 NCAA appearances. Took the 49ers to a magical Elite 8 appearance in 2011. Jennifer Rockwood, 365 wins, 110 losses, 43 ties over 24 seasons. She has 18 NCAA appearances, 5 Sweet 16s, 2 Elite 8s, and BYU, before last season, had won 5 consecutive West Coast Conference titles in a traditionally very strong WCC rundown. BYU not the favorite this year, though they are hoping to build some more momentum against a very good Long Beach State team before they open up conference play in a little over a week against Gonzaga.
Something very interesting, as you could see, as we matched up these 2 coaches, both of them with this NCAA experience. And you mentioned, Spencer, how important this game is for both of these teams as they look for an NCAA bid. They've both played top-ranked teams, but they haven't won. This is a game where they're evenly matched on paper. They're not yet into that conference play. This is a big opportunity for both of these schools to take a win that actually impacts that potential bid into the NCAA tournament as the season comes to a close. So not only are they evenly matched on paper, they're evenly matched in their need to win this game for an NCAA bid postseason.
BYU and Long Beach State have a common high-ranked opponent, UCLA. The Cougars played the Bruins, who were number 2 at the time, in an exhibition back on August 10th, losing on the road 2-1. Long Beach State visited UCLA to open up the season on August 17th and lost that head-to-head matchup 1-0.
And again, both of these teams, as mentioned, have played these top-ranked opponents. While they haven't beat them, they also are not getting beat. They're losing by a goal, but they are not getting wiped off the field by any stretch of the imagination. Both of these 2 teams are highly competitive in a very, very high level of soccer. And so, again, it's going to be a fun matchup tonight as we see these 2 teams compete for a victory.
Now, of note, with the 49ers' strength of schedule, they have only given up more than 2 goals once. It came in a loss at 3rd-ranked USC, most recently 3-0, that happening last Friday. So a quick turnaround for the 49ers as they come back on the road once again. They leave the comforts of Southern California and come to very warm Provo, Utah today, nearing 90 degrees. And it feels a little bit like the field's cooking out here, just a little bit of humidity. Now, there were some concerns with wildfires burning in the immediate area in Utah County that this game might have to be moved if the air quality didn't improve. Thankfully, the air quality has been dubbed okay and is healthy enough for these young ladies to run around for 90 minutes. Here we go. BYU Long Beach State live on BYU TV. Happy to have you with us on a Monday. Lauren McLean is on the sidelines. Spencer Linton and Natalie Lewis here. The 49ers control early. Elise Flake challenging for BYU.
I like this pressure we're seeing as BYU comes early with the pressure. Braby and Flake, Lyman out of the back, just applying major pressure, making sure Long State knows there are not going to be easy touches in the back tonight.
And for BYU, Danica Bowman-Saracio ahead to Olivia Wade. Wade still controlling, will send that back to Saracio. One touched up to Bella Folino, who brings it back, retreating just across midfield, and again Saracio. Now here's Josie Gwynn for the first time this afternoon. Long, almost picked off pass, but controlled by Alyssa Jefferson. Jefferson being pressured a bit, and she'll go back to her keeper.
And now Long Beach again returning the favor with quite a bit of pressure, not letting BYU out of their defensive third.
There's Elise Flake, stumbled for a moment, back up under control. Olivia Wade, her pass is well offline and mishit. That'll go out across the touchline for a Long Beach State throw.
When BYU made that connecting pass into the backfield, they just weren't able to get back out of it. Long Beach did a very nice job of not overcommitting, but really maintaining and keeping BYU stuck into that backside.
BYU riding a 3-match win streak, including a 10-0 shutout of Idaho State, a hard-fought 3-2 win against Utah in Salt Lake City, and most recently a trip to Milwaukee and Marquette, and BYU winning that match 3-0. However, the level of competition takes a major step up with the 49ers here in Provo today. Here is Maddie Sidaway-Gates after the clearance. And Gates being harassed there a little bit by Sarah Pilster, and the whistle blows in favor of BYU.
Now, this is a first for me, Spencer. I have never actually watched a player wearing sunglasses out on the field. Prescription, I'm confident, but still. Usually they're wearing contacts, but...
I'm surprised it doesn't happen more, especially with this game time start. It doesn't happen often here early, 5:30, when that sun is just beating down right into the face of Long Beach State as they're on the offensive attack.
You know, I've seen goalkeepers have glasses on, sunglasses on, especially when they're facing the sun like this. I've never seen a defender, especially that back line, you are constantly heading the ball. But Sarah Pilster sporting the shades in tonight's game.
Now, why not? You see baseball players do it all the time. You've got sunglasses on right now, for crying out loud.
It's true. I don't plan on heading the ball tonight, but I am wearing the shades.
Touche.
That would be the scariest part for me, wearing shades and then having to head the ball.
Yeah, for your sake, I hope that does not happen.
Oh, I gave up on that. See, I'm well past has-been status into once was status, and once you hit once was, you don't head the ball anymore. It's against the rules.
Just over 3 minutes in, no score between Long Beach State and BYU. The 49ers at 4-4 on the season. This is match number 9, and the Cougars in match number 8 with a record of 4-2 and 1 tie. BYU looking to get off an early shot here. Here's Michaela Coulihan. She scoots it out wide to Lizzie Braby. Braby crossing it to the top of the 18, cleared away for the moment by Long Beach State across the touchline, and now BYU will have a throw on the near sideline.
I like that look right there. That is what BYU has done so effectively in their last few games, is you find them connecting those passes and then finding that outside runner and then getting the ball back onto the inside. And they have done very, very well the last few games with that offensive attack.
Josie Gwynn scoots in a shot. 2-hopper low to the ground, no problem for Imani McDonald, the senior keeper, 5'6", out of Long Beach, playing for her hometown school. The ball controlled by Bella Folino to Olivia Wade, back to Folino, far sideline near midfield. BYU with good possession here. Josie Gwynn has Wade again, who is scooting it up towards that crest. Slides it over to Rachel Lyman. Lyman across midfield to Lizzie Braby. Braby quickly back to Alyssa Jefferson. Punches that ball up to the feet of Sarah Meyer. Possession being exchanged. Michaela Coulihan challenges that ball and takes down Taylor Bistline. That will go in favor of the 49ers.
I liked the aggressive nature for Coulihan in the middle, coming hard on Bistline. She got her arms up, which is where she's going to get called for the foul. If she just comes in hard on that tackle, she's going to be all right. It's also you got a much higher chance of getting that foul called on you if you're coming in from the backside. The officials very protective of players, watching out for that backside.
Here is Braby for BYU. A reminder, our scorebox sponsor this evening is Brady Industries, a provider of commercial cleaning supplies and equipment. Wade back out to Lyman, right on that near sideline. Lyman now advancing the ball toward the offensive third for BYU. Braby turns, and her effort earns a free kick after the foul called on the 49ers.
Okay, now our officials, usually officials, you only talk about them when they're not doing well because they drive everybody nuts. But we have a great official tonight. There's twice in a row now where he's noted the foul. His body language tells you he's noted the foul, and he looks around and then literally watches the field progress to see if he should give the advantage or not. He did give the advantage the first time, didn't call it. Second time, he notes the foul, gives Bravey 2 seconds, and then when there's no advantage, calls the foul. That's very, very well done as an official.
Well, the whistle blows.
Oh, the official was marking 10 yards with his back to the play, and Coulihan she knows a little better than that, I should say, to kick that right then when the official has got his back turned and he's actually talking to the line. Once he's stopped play and starts talking to the line, he has to actually whistle play.
Adam Zarin is the man wearing that yellow jersey and has now marked off 10 yards. The whistle blows. Coulihan out to Lyman, one timed in, and that ball is slicing right. No immediate danger for the 49ers, and Imani McDonald out for a goal kick. 7 minutes in, no score. Long Beach State and BYU live on BYU TV. Ball slides over the foot of Gwynn, but back to Danica Bowman-Saracio. To her right. And Alyssa Jefferson, now Lyman. Right to midfield, Wade. Coulihan. And now Lyman on the approach. Good ball control from BYU here early. Lyman trying to get that ball back to Bravey, but not enough mustard on it, and an easy takeaway for the 49ers.
And this is their counterattack opportunity. They see, they had their runner 27 moving forward. See, BYU's defense had to shift to help cover for Lyman being up top with that offensive attack. And that if Long Beach will take that counterattack opportunity faster, that's where they're going to create their opportunities.
Good ball ahead, and Sabrina Davis grabs that ball near the top of the 18. Rolls it back out. BYU trying to go back to work on offense.
Here's a look at what this last play, just a nice little flick with the outside of the foot going through that line. A nice little foot race here, as well as Sabrina comes out and just wraps that up.
You will notice that Sabrina Davis doesn't have the typical size of your usual keeper, but she is very aggressive and prides herself on making up for her lack of height with a keen sense for where to be, when to be there, and how to attack the ball.
Oh, you could never reach this level of play as a 5'5" goalkeeper without some serious athleticism and leadership. And that's exactly what Davis brings to the back of the net for BYU.
Here is Lyman. The left foot scoots it to Elise Flake. Flake trying to line up a shot through the legs of one defender and Kaylee Ramirez, but then cleared away. Back at midfield, Jefferson. Saracio has Foligno, who put it forward to Gates for the moment. The ball popped up, handled defensively by the 49ers, and now to the feet of Rocio Rodriguez. That ball deflects off the foot of Pilster. BYU approaching, and now harmlessly falls to Rola Badawia. Dana Fujikuni back to Pilster once again. Pilster sends that ball forward. Ashley Gonzalez on the sprint with Saracio from BYU, and Saracio with a retreating pass to Davis. Now to Jefferson. BYU looking to reverse field and get back on the offensive attack. Lyman right back to Jefferson on that near sideline. We approach the 10-minute mark. No score, Long Beach State and BYU. Now, an advancing ball for Elise Flake. Battling there with Alyssa Alvarez. Won by the 49ers. Ball loose dangerously. And now Gates with a shot. Oh, cleared off the line beautifully by Chloe Froment.
Froment with the play of the game so far. You've got to hand it to Coulihan. She just brings the speed, wreaks havoc. Gates with the beautiful touch, well placed, and Froment coming out of nowhere with a huge save.
Chloe Froment the junior out of Lyon, France.
Look at this. This is Gates' goal all day long. She's past the goalkeeper, and Froment on the line. The ball barely misses that line with a huge save to keep this game at 0.
McDonald beaten by Gates, but can't get it past Froment, who makes an enormous foot save as a defender to keep that ball off the line and into the net and keep it scoreless. Wow.
Yeah, huge play. That's a difference maker play for sure. Froment just again coming out of nowhere, and we were all focused. Here's Gates, lines herself up, takes a beautiful placed shot, again beats McDonald. I was focused on that, thinking, oh wow, she beat her, that's a goal, and I didn't even see Froment come until all of a sudden the ball's getting knocked out.
Well, after that commotion, Pilster earns a free kick with BYU being whistled for some aggressive play. That gives it right back to Olivia Wade and Lizzie Braby. Braby, high floating centering pass, headed away, and Elise Flake wins that ball away from Fujikuni. Flake still in control.
Now, what's tragic about that attack is I mean, awesome play again by Froment. Great that we're focusing on her, but what caught my attention on that last BYU attack was Coulihan just coming out of nowhere. Michaela Coulihan with just serious wheels just came and wreaked havoc, and she was what created that goal-scoring opportunity in the first place. Would love to see more of that coming out of the middle.
BYU with 2 shots, both on frame. And that means Imani McDonald has been tested here early. Again, beaten, but because Froment makes that foot save, the stat that really matters, goals scored, stays at 0. So let's check in with Lauren McLean. What do you have for us, Lauren?
Spencer, you'll notice that BYU has been a little quicker in transition, and they're opening up a little wider, and that's something that coaches have been yelling at them this first half. And this last week, they've been working a lot on the attack and getting the wings more involved. They've been trying to go up and down the middle a little too much, according to Jen Rockwood, but they're having more success when spreading it wide, as you could see by that last shot. Spencer.
All right, good insight from Lauren McLean. BYU trying to attack and exploit this 49er defense, starting on the outside in.
Well, what gives BYU that edge is when they get Lyman involved on that back line. Lyman's so quick with the ball at her feet, and she just creates those openings up the sideline because no one's marking her. She's a defender coming out of the back. And when the defenders have to then step, all of a sudden it creates all types of openings for that offensive attack to happen.
Sarah Pilster sends that ball ahead to Alyssa Alvarez. Alvarez around Josie Gwynn. Finds Rocio Rodriguez. Rodriguez now to Ashley Gonzalez, and Gonzalez back to Fujikuni. Fujikuni finds the open teammate in Alvarez on the far sideline. Here is Gonzalez and Alvarez. Now Badawia to the feet of Rodriguez. 49ers still trying to get out that first shot of tonight's contest. Pilster, Badawia, and once again Rodriguez has the ball poked away by Josie Gwynn, cleared by Bella Felino. Elise Flake in a foot race with Pilster. Pilster will win that and send it back to McDonald. McDonald assessing her options. The moment goes to Sarah Meyer, and now McDonald will get it right back. And now again to her left side, Chloe Froment. Just past the 15-minute mark. Pace has slowed just a tad here in the last 45 to 60 seconds of gameplay. Of note, your stat leaders for the 49ers. Fujikuni with 3 goals. Gonzalez has 2. And a handful of players with a couple of assists. Imani McDonald with 31 saves on the season. Long Beach State giving up just about a goal a game. 49ers on the push. They still have not ripped off that first shot. Lizzie Braby tangled up there with Kaylee Ramirez and cleared across the touchline. I showed you the stat leaders for BYU, including Maddie Sidaway-Gates with 4 goals, the lone senior on this BYU team. She about had her 5th goal if it weren't for a heads-up play by the junior defender out of Lyon, France, Chloe Froment.
Well, what Long Beach has going for them is the goals they have scored across the season have come from 8 different players. So while their leading scorer has only 3 goals so far on the season, of note is that they have 8 different players who have notched goals this season. When you can have that kind of contribution in your offensive end, it's very, very helpful so that you're not relying on 1 player or 2 players to get the job done each game.
Sabrina Davis directing traffic before she lets off this goal kick. Falling just beyond midfield. There is Gates, surrounded by 3 49er defenders. Froment. Back to McDonald once again. Froment gets it right back. Now she'll advance the ball at midfield. Pinballs around and falls to the feet of Badawia. There's Fujikuni. Scoots out to her right to Alvarez. Alvarez defended by Josie Gwynn. Alvarez now trying to get around a BYU double team and almost does. And is called for a foul as she pushes Josie Gwynn in the back, and Gwynn is slow to get up.
That was very, very rough tackle there. Alvarez really shoving Gwynn down to the ground with her hands. You see this, just a full shove to the ground as she comes around. Full arms involved. I'm almost surprised we're not seeing a yellow card for this. It's a pretty intense foul. Gwynn hitting the ground very hard. You can see the nick snap a bit there. She's gonna feel that one in the morning.
Rocio Rodriguez. Alvarez again back to Rodriguez, trying to find Badawia, who extends out fully with the right leg to keep that ball before it's taken away by BYU. Jefferson now to Lyman. Houlihan back to Lyman. Now Lyman too far in front of Gates, and the giveaway to the 49ers. Fujikuni open for the moment at midfield. Now retreating defensively, Olivia Wade. Fujikuni's pass offline was intended initially for Ashley Gonzalez, but BYU with a bit of a miscommunication as Gwynn and Saracio are caught in the back really with nowhere to go, and BYU's bailed out with that going out the foot of Long Beach State out for a goal kick.
BYU doing a lot of passing back this game. Lots of balls coming back. They're coming from their midfield back into their backfield and then getting pinned back there instead of taking those forward-looking opportunities. And it's a great element for possession to use all directions of the field, but they're going to have to be careful that they don't get sucked into that as a comfort pass and stop looking for those penetrating passes up top.
Elise Flake with a beautiful flick and turn, trying to get around Pilster. Flake. And her centering pass is knocked down, defended nicely again by Froment, who has been the defensive MVP for the 49ers here today. Now here we come with Ashley Gonzalez. Back to Rocio Rodriguez. Gonzalez once again sends Rodriguez on the run. Rodriguez with a defender on her back will wait for some more options. Josie Gwynn working hard.
It was a great defensive effort right there to just contain, not overcommit, not get caught, not dive in.
Kaylee Ramirez keeps that ball in play on the near sideline. Left foot centering pass. Saracio back defensively for BYU and put out of play just like that. We are across the 20-minute mark. No score. BYU and Long Beach State. The Cougars do have 2 shots on frame. A near goal off the foot of the senior, Maddie Gates for BYU. Chloe Froment making the foot save as a defender after her keeper, Imani McDonald, was beaten.
A huge play, and definitely the most active offensively. And I'd say right now, a pretty evenly matched game across the pitch, except that BYU has had more forward-looking opportunities, a bit more dangerous opportunities so far in this game, as Long Beach, I believe, is yet to notch a shot. And so this Long Beach team doing a nice job containing the ball, doing well defensively, but they haven't gotten that shot off in that offensive end.
Sarah Pilster, long throw in. Headed away. Lizzie Braby tried to clear it, but Pilster knocks it down and puts it right back in front of the net. Sabrina Davis off her feet to grab that ball midair. And now giving her BYU teammates some time to make it back down the field. Davis, drop kick. Trying to find Gates just across midfield. Won by the 49ers off the header.
That's a tough ball to play on both sides of the field this time of night, as the ball gets into just the right spot, and the only thing you see is a bright ball of light. I don't even know if you can see it coming down at this time of night.
Olivia Wade to her right to Rachel Lyman. Lyman gets the ball back from Lizzie Braby. Now floats in a shot that was flirting with disaster for the 49ers and McDonald, but the 49ers keeper retreats and makes the save. However, BYU right back to work. Josie Gwynn trying to line up a shot. Outs off the crossbar. And the whistle blows.
BYU bringing some heat on this very warm night to this Long Beach defense. Let's have a look at this shot. Setting up, Gwynn takes that shot, just pounds the crossbar, but that ball an inch lower, and it goes in because it is above the outstretched hands of McDonald, but that takes a bounce and comes out the other direction. That is BYU. Two huge opportunities, and Long Beach getting lucky.
BYU now has taken 3 shots. And while that hits the crossbar, again, it doesn't count as a shot on frame. That's 2 near goals for the Cougars, who are clearly winning the pressure game early on against Long Beach State.
Let's have a look again one more time. Here is that shot. Beautiful bend just over the arms of McDonald and just pounding that post. It's still ringing down on that end of the field. And BYU just licking their chops here as they nearly have notched a goal to put in that goal they desperately want to go ahead here in the first half.
Past the halfway mark of the first 45 minutes, and there is a free kick. Davis makes a fair catch on.
A fair catch, huh? You do wish as a goalkeeper you just wave it off. I got this. I got this. You're not allowed to touch me.
Yeah, not that simple in soccer.
I don't know that many football players would call it a simple thing either, but
with 11 people bearing down on you. Hey,
large,
same thing as soccer, yeah.
Large people that want to eat you for lunch. Yeah, that's the lack of simplicity there.
Coulihan, good effort, wins that ball. Gates controls. Bella Folino around Alyssa Alvarez. And Folino, along with the rest of her team on those last few touches, earn a corner kick for BYU. Substitution first of the match will come on the BYU side. Cameron Tucker enters.
Tonight's corner kicks are brought to you by Wilmer and O'Reilly.
And Tucker will replace Bella Folino.
Cameron Tucker will get her first touch of the game as she takes this corner kick.
Kick coming from Cameron Tucker.
Tucker setting up with the right foot from the far corner. The corner is in, bending far post. headed out, but wide right. Michaela Coulihan was in the vicinity and looking for BYU's first goal of the match.
And let's have a look at this. BYU has scored a number of times this season on this long crossing ball. Coulihan getting her head on it just to the outside of the net. Again, beautiful ball coming in from Cameron Tucker. There's Coulihan running that far post route just outside. If you got a chance to watch the BYU-Utah game, you saw some absolutely phenomenal goal scoring off the head of both teams. It was some of the finest crossing and finishing that you're going to get to experience. So if you missed it, check out the highlights. But certainly BYU knows how to finish coming out of the air.
There's Cameron Tucker, who was gifted a ball. Tucker slides it to her right to Coulihan. Coulihan has Braby, and now she'll go wide right to Braby. Lizzie Braby. Cross. And that sails over the head of everybody, just barely. And that ball is out of play for a Long Beach State throw-in. Two more substitutions in for BYU. Lydiana Akinaka was the one chasing down that ball. As you look at what Imani McDonald is staring into right now, with the sun just blaring right in her eyes.
That is a long 45 minutes. And it could be a little worse at the start of the second half, actually, for BYU's keeper, depending on what time that second half begins.
Braby to Lyman. That's a two-person game right there, and a dangerous cross. Scoots past, again, everyone, Long Beach State and BYU, but Cameron Tucker is there. Tucker trying to turn on Alvarez, advantage Alvarez for the moment. Gwynn puts it right back into net. Headed back to Braby, just on top of the 18. Left-footed shot, and that'll be no problem for Imani McDonald. So tack on another shot for BYU. That gives the Cougars 5.
And BYU continuing to put the pressure on, bringing those crosses from the outside, winning those additional bounces to get secondary shots off. You know, BYU with enough time left in the second half, that pressure, it would be shocking to not see one drop for them.
Fujikuni, Rola Badawiya. Long Beach State just trying to keep possession right now, which is not something that they have been able to do for the last 15 minutes of the game time relatively well. It has been a game dominated by BYU for much of the first half.
Well, in both teams, we're not quite 30 minutes into a 45-minute half here, and you can see both teams, I believe, feeling the impact of this heat, as they're just a little slower than normal. And you can see Long Beach dragging just a little bit between the elevation and the heat. I'm sure both getting to them.
49ers substitutions.
Two substitutions for the 49ers as Sierra Castles and Michaela Soul both enter the match,
Number 11, Sierra Castles, and number 12,
replacing Rocio Rodriguez and Alyssa Alvarez. Some fresh legs in for both teams, trying to counter that heat aspect just brought up by Nadal Lewis. And again, if you're just joining us, game time temperature right around 90 degrees. It will dip a few degrees as we go on, but with the 5:30 start, don't expect much of a dip in temperature. It's going to be hot pretty much for the duration.
And it's a little warmer even out there on that grass, because you get a little bit of humidity from the moisture on the grass, and it just creates a hot and muggy game for these players out there.
And there you see the current temperature right at 90. Not a ton of humidity, but the players, I can guarantee you, they're feeling the heat right now. Ball in the shadows in that far corner. Michaela Soul, who just entered for Long Beach State, has the ball taken away, cleared by BYU up to midfield. McKaylee Moore and Lydia Akinaka working together for BYU to keep possession. Cameron Tucker, oh, what a gorgeous ball to Lizzie Braby on the run. The Cougars on the counter. It's 3-on-4. Braby and she has the ball poked away by Ashley Gonzalez. Nice defensive effort by Gonzalez. No, correction, that's number 24, Kaylee Ramirez, not number 14, Gonzalez. Regardless, a fine defensive effort. BYU gets it right back. Braby sends Lyman into the right corner. Lyman, right-footed cross, has a teammate there, and a save by McDonald. Ball still bouncing around in there, and it's finally collected by Imani McDonald. The near goals and the theme of near goals continue for BYU here just over 30 minutes into the match.
Beautiful crossing ball by Lyman, and McKaylee Moore to just get ahead on that ball, and not only to get ahead on it, but then to quickly get on her feet and try to get another shot off. Phenomenal effort up top, but then look at McDonald. The quick reaction save 1 and then quick reaction save 2 back to back, getting some very serious action early in the back of that net for McDonald here and this Long Beach State team.
Kaylee Moore able to get that over to Coulihan. Coulihan driving that ball on the right side, and her centering attempt is off at Long Beach State. Watch this long pass from Lyman to McKaylee Moore. That's an incredible effort to find that ball.
McKaylee Moore, just look at the effort. Beautiful ball from Lyman. But look at the effort to come from behind, diving header. But then look, quickly she's up. She got the ball, handball, but that's all right. She gets the shot off. And I mean, just the quickness, the effort to come from the diving header from the back side of the defender. And then McDonald with the quick reaction. Great soccer right there, great soccer.
Second corner for BYU is pushed out to the top of the 18. Josie Gwynn one-times that ball, and it bends left, hooking past the target. 7th shot for BYU. 2 corner kicks now for the Cougars to Long Beach State's single shot and no corner kicks. There is a look at Imani McDonald, who has been very busy in the first 32 minutes and 54 seconds. Lauren McLean, what can you tell us about Imani McDonald, the senior?
Well, that last save that she made did not come to a surprise to her head coach, Mauricio Ingracia. He told me before the match that she is very quick, something that Nadalyn just said about that save. He said she's an amazing leader and very loud. He said if you listen close, you'll hear her the entire game. She has a lot of communication, and once again, she has a lot of speed in that goal. Spencer.
Thank you, Lauren. She just picked up a couple of saves a few minutes ago. And again, the 49ers giving up just a hair over 1 goal per match this season. 8 goals in 7 games. As you take a long look at the senior McDonald, who is trying to shield away that sun. And just a brutal setup for the visiting team here at South Field during an early kickoff. Saracio over to Gwynn. Gwynn across midfield. She'll send it up the sideline. Here is Lydia Akanaka, and she can't control that. Out for a Long Beach State throw.
Just about 10 minutes left in this first half. BYU applying a lot of pressure offensively, trying to notch that go-ahead goal before the second half starts. And man, have they been applying the pressure. A defensive save on the back line, a crossbar, and then a quick reactionary save with a diving header. We're definitely getting entertainment value out of this offensive attack, even if they have not yet been able to finish.
Pilster up the sideline to Alicia Laramie, and Laramie has that ball go just across the touchline. BYU throw coming from Josie Gwynn. 10 minutes to go in half number 1. Gwynn back from Cameron Tucker. Kaylee Moore, now Lydia Akanaka. Tipped away for the moment. Moore to her right. Ball still free. Here is Ella Ballstead. And Moore rips off a shot that deflects off of the Long Beach State defense. Taylor Bistline there defending for the 49ers, and this will be corner kick number 3 for the Cougars in half number 1.
BYU has been dangerous on these crossing balls. Watch for Coulihan on the far post run. She loves to get her head on this ball.
BYU with 5 unanswered shots. They lead in that category 8-1. Corner kick number 3 from Tucker. Again, falling towards the far post. Lyman has it at her feet. Lyman, left-footed floating shot. That will go harmlessly wide left of the frame and out for another goal kick. Well, BYU continues to pad their offensive stats and possession domination. The 49ers, as has so often been the case this year, have weathered the storm against very offensive-minded teams.
Well, these are the kind of games as a coach you're just begging for the second half to come. You're just begging for halftime. You need to reset. Your team was doing fine in the first 15 minutes of this game, making it a back and forth game, and in the last 15 minutes here, BYU has just controlled the game. They've controlled possession. They've controlled the attack. Long Beach with not even able really to notch a shot. They've just had some long balls that have gone very unthreateningly into the arms of Davis. They need to reset.
It was Ella Ballstead after a quick restart from Coulihan. Hakanaka can't keep an aggressive pass from Ballstead in play, and that's a fortunate break for the 49ers for that ball to go out for a goal kick.
What I've been impressed here with this BYU attack here in the first half is that BYU has sent in several pairs of fresh legs, and they have not seen a drop-off. It is sometimes difficult to come into a game where you have a lot of momentum and a lot of movement towards goal and come in and not lose any of that momentum. BYU's done an excellent job of rotating fresh legs into the lineup and maintaining their pressure.
Alyssa Jefferson whistled for the foul, got a little bit of the body in there before she got to the ball, or simultaneously it goes in favor of the 49ers as Katie Pingle goes down for the Beach.
Yeah, great call.
Advancing pass from the 49ers into dangerous territory, and Davis. And we mentioned this on the aggressive approach from her stance, able to sniff out any type of dangerous attempt or shot attempt that Sierra Castles was seeking out on the back end of that pass.
Sierra Castles and Josie Gwynn going head-to-head on that follow-up. A very, very physical matchup as Davis came out to win that ball. But Long Beach, that's probably the best pressure look they've had so far.
Technically, it doesn't count as a shot because nothing was fired off, but you bet, absolutely, that was the most pressure that BYU has felt at any moment in this first half. Cougars trying to get on the counter here. Coulihan, her pass not enough. And it's taken away by Castles. Castles now back to Fujikuni. Fujikuni with 3 goals to lead the 49ers this season. She fires off a shot that will be off of BYU and Olivia Wade, and out for the 49ers' first corner kick of the match.
Let's have a look here. That ball comes in almost like a 50-50 ball, and you can see right there the battle going on as Davis comes out and locks up that ball. Sierra Castles and Josie Gwynn going head-to-head. Both of them end up on the ground. Minor little wrestling match going on inside the 6. No biggie.
It's a good soccer match without some scuffles.
That's right.
Here is Kaylee Ramirez lining up for the left-footed cross. Falling in towards the center of the 18. Headed away for the moment now. Flipped back, and the ball still loose, and Davis being challenged. Long Beach State asking for the linesman to take a closer look that ball maybe crossed over the plane.
Oh, Lisa Laramie, look at her come in. Look, this ball looks like it's going to be harmless, but watch Laramie come flying in to give pressure to Davis. Look, they want a goal called there. Let's have a look if we can get a better angle. Here comes the ball. Davis is going to lose control of that ball as it comes down by her knees. We can't see the line exactly, but Davis looks like she's staying on that side of the line and keeps the ball in front of her.
Very close call.
Very close call.
And worth an argument from Alicia Laramie and Michaela Soul. Ball at midfield currently. Cameron Tucker is slow to get up after a collision with Sierra Castles. Kind of an awkward restart for Cameron Tucker after Castles got tangled up with her at midfield. Looked like she was a little bit.
It looked like
almost like she got knocked in the head.
It looked like she got her foot stepped on.
Okay.
She had one of those like, extreme pain moments there just for a minute. Coulihan meeting the grass monster over there.
Fujikuni with the shot! And that goes just over the crossbar. So now Long Beach State beginning to assert themselves a bit here in the final 5 minutes of the first half.
Taking some pressure here. BYU, Long Beach bringing the pressure. Now here's another look. Look at the floater comes in. Here she comes with the pressure. Davis not able to wrap it up. Ball's bouncing around. I don't believe that ball went over the line.
On the officials right on the line too. So while it's worth an appeal, he had a perfect angle and you could see he was lined up right there waiting to see if anything happened. No indication or no clear indication that was a goal. But the best chance for the Beach thus far. Long throw in and a good one to the feet of Laramie. Davis wasting little time to win a foot race to that ball and take it on the hop.
Well, kudos to Laramie. She subs into this game and starts bringing the pressure, really turning the tide of where the pressure and momentum of this game was falling. It was all BYU for the last 20 minutes straight, and Laramie coming out of nowhere 2-3 times now to bring some offensive pressure for the first time in the game for Long Beach.
Here is Lyman near sideline to Olivia Wade, dispossessed for a moment, but Wade wins that ball back. Now it's to Jefferson. Jefferson's approaching pass to Coulihan is taken away, and here come the 49ers once again. Katie Pingle trying to line something up. Good defensive effort by Jefferson, who collides with Fujikuni, and Fujikuni is going to be whistled for the takedown. BYU free kick with just over 2 minutes to play in the first half.
Alyssa Jefferson wins that ball, and she is on her horse. Unfortunately, Fujikuni just in the wrong place at the wrong time, I think, on that one. Looks like she was going to step, but wasn't fast enough to quite get out of the way of Alyssa Jefferson.
Charlotte Guillory. Fresh legs at the match for the Beach with Guillory, but the giveaway back to BYU. Lyman, bad pass. And now the 49ers with an opportunity. Here's Lyman on the left side, trying to get around. Saracio cannot do so, and that will be a BYU goal kick.
Now, once again, we're calling out the name over there of Alicia Laramie. I mean, she is really making an impact in this game. Kudos to her.
Sabrina Davis. Just over a minute left in half number one. Still no score between Long Beach State and BYU. The Cougars with 9 shots to Long Beach State's 3. BYU also winning the corner kick advantage 3-1. They have been the aggressor statistically on offense, but it feels like the last 7 or 8 minutes have been won by the 49ers.
Yeah, definitely a shift of momentum we've felt here in the last about, you're right, 7 or 8 minutes here of play. As the clock was ticking off to halftime. I was just talking about how Long Beach was begging for halftime. Now BYU might be the one begging for halftime as Long Beach shifts the tide of momentum and has really brought a lot of pressure in the backfield here to try to close out the first half.
Long pass ahead from Pilster is headed back by Saracio of BYU. McKaylee Moore heads that ball to the feet of Cameron Tucker. Far sideline near midfield, retreating past Josie Gwynn. Tucker will turn around Kayla Cannon. 12 seconds to play in the first half. There's Kaylee Ramirez at midfield. Left-footed pass ahead, again headed by Saracio. Alyssa Jefferson will clear that back up to midfield. And that's how the first half is going to end. No score between two evenly matched teams, Long Beach State and BYU. The 49ers just outside the top 25 receiving votes. BYU trying to get back in that top 25 consideration with the win against the 49ers on their home field. Entertaining first 45, but no goals to show for it.
And what we're seeing is pretty consistent with what it would have looked like on paper. BYU with more shots, Long Beach with a bit more effectiveness of their shots. And again, you can see this back and forth.
All right, now time for halftime thoughts from Jennifer Rockwood. She's with Lauren McLean.
Coach, for most of that first half, your team was dominating the time of possession. You had a few dangerous shots. How would you evaluate that first half of play?
You know, I thought we came out and moved the ball well, but we forgot to go forward, and no one cares if you connect in the back. And so we just have to have more of a sense of urgency, and because we weren't as urgent, you know, we let them get in closer, and they're really dangerous. They created a couple of good opportunities, and we just got to get going in our attack a little bit more.
You mentioned those few opportunities that Long Beach State had there at the end, but before that, the defense was doing very well. What was giving them success?
Well, our defense was starting our attack, and we were just knocking the ball around, and Long Beach was kind of fading back a little bit more. But as we forgot to go forward, they were closer at us, and so when we turned the ball over, they were coming right back at us. So we just have to be show a little bit more urgency in our attack. I thought the group off the bench came in and created some good opportunities. We hit the post a couple times, so we just got to be more dangerous, get a few more crosses off, get a few more balls in the box, and I think we'll be in good shape.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Jen Rockwood, the head coach of BYU, trying to pick up win number 5 on the season for BYU. The Cougars 4-2-1. Pretty good first half, but no goals yet. Coming back with more NCAA women's soccer on a Monday evening right after this.